Okay, it's 2 o'clock on the dot, so we are going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining us today to talk about the process of reopening your dealership during and after COVID-19. My name is Jennifer Green-Neff. I'm the Director of Demand Generation for Trader Interactive, and I'll be your webinar moderator today. Let's go ahead and walk through some quick housekeeping before we begin. If you need to make any adjustments to your sound during this presentation, you'll see your audio controls in the webinar control panel. You have the option to toggle between using computer audio or phone call if you need to change that, as well as adjust your microphone settings and volume. If you think of any questions throughout this presentation, enter them into the questions section of the control panel, and then when we get to the Q&A portion at the end, we'll be sure to answer your questions then. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to introduce you to Paige Boma, Executive Vice President of Sales and Operations at Trader Interactive. Paige has extensive experience in digital advertising, large-scale partnerships, customer service, and dealership consultation. Her professionalism combined with a passion for our industries has allowed her to consistently develop solutions that meet the needs of our dealers of all sizes across the nation. With that, I'll go ahead and pass the mic over to Paige.
Thank you, Jen, and good afternoon, everybody. I'm excited to be here today to bring you insight and best practices for reopening your dealership during and after COVID-19. In today's webinar, we are going to discuss best practices for reopening your dealership during this ever-evolving pandemic. Today, we are going to cover the preparation steps that you need to take, guide you on how to create an effective reopening plan for you and your staff, and tips on being ready for you to move towards digital selling and buying. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Over the past 2 months, states all across the country have had to shut down or partially shut down to limit the spread of the coronavirus. These shutdowns and stay-home orders have had a large impact on almost all businesses throughout the United States. These orders have undoubtedly changed the course of motorcycle, RV, commercial vehicle, and equipment dealerships countrywide. But in recent days, we have seen a glimmer of hope, with states, many of them lifting and getting ready to augment their stay-home orders. And many businesses are now being allowed to open back up, with regulations now in place. The New York Times even offers this interactive map where you can actually see that states are reopening, which ones, and then which ones are still shut down. So most states have already either reopened, they've partially reopened, or they are reopening soon. And then this is actually, you can see this represented on the map in blue and light blue. But now the question that many dealerships are facing is, how do I open my storefront back up safely and effectively? So we're going to dive into the preparation steps that you're going to need to take in order to do that. So right off the bat, I want to remind you, before you consider reopening, and even once you do, it is important that you are following your state-specific guidelines when it comes to anything that is relating to COVID-19. Alrighty, we're going to jump in. First things first, the cleanliness of your dealership matters more now than it has ever before, and it should take that #1 priority when it comes to reopening. Consumers want to know that you and your teams are taking the proper steps to sanitize your business before you let anyone walk through your doors. Have cleaning supplies ready and make sure that you give your business a thorough cleaning before you let any customers inside the building. Many cleaning-related companies are even offering full sanitizing services so that you also have that option of something that you might want to consider investing in. You also want to make sure that you have signage in your store promoting your cleanliness and stating all of the steps that you are taking to keep your staff and your customers safe. I'm going to give you a real-life story. I went into a dealership earlier this week to rent a golf cart, and I was absolutely freaked out from the moment I got there. There was no hand sanitizer in any of the pumps that I tried. There was nowhere anywhere in the dealership that had any sign up that said what they're doing, what precautions they are taking. It did not make me feel that the store was clean. It made me nervous about renting something from them. And ultimately, I really felt that I didn't want to do business with them. So it's going to be very important when you open up that you are taking these steps to make sure you're letting people know. Cleaning your dealership before inviting customers back is going to be crucial. But it is also important to have plans and policies in place for when your customers are walking in and around your business. So I'm going to give you a few ideas to consider implementing at your dealership. So set up cleaning shifts throughout the day to ensure all surfaces are being cleaned on a regular basis. You can set up multiple hand sanitizer dispensers throughout your dealership, or even have them on your lot for your staff and your customers to utilize. And don't forget about my golf cart experience and how that made me feel. So make sure you've got those visible all throughout your dealership and available. Consider offering disposable masks for those who enter your dealership, and make them a requirement for your staff to wear to minimize any germ spread. And then also make sure guests feel very comfortable. For motorcycle dealerships specifically, you could even offer maybe branded bandanas or buffs that you could have as a mask option for your customers, something kind of fun. And lastly, have clear signs for entering and exiting the building. You're going to also want to put up clear signs to encourage social distancing. Encourage by appointment only meetings, or consider putting a cap on the number of people that you're going to let into your dealership, and make sure that it is all in accordance with your own state guidelines. Require or encourage your staff to take their temperature before coming into your dealership and starting their shift. And then after you set up a plan to sanitize and maintain the cleanliness of your dealership, it is important to consider how you're going to deal with in-person contact. For many customers, test drives and unit tours are a deciding factor in purchasing a unit. But how do you conduct a test drive or a tour of a unit safely during COVID-19? So when offering test drives or unit tours, make sure that you're wiping down all areas that have been touched or may be touched with disinfectant so potential customers feel comfortable. For example, with an RV, you can keep cleaning supplies in each unit or just keep them very close by to the unit so that they're readily available. If possible, invest in disposable seat covers to minimize contact and replace them after each drive, depending on the type of unit that you're selling, if you need to do that. It's difficult to social distance if you are actually in a vehicle together, but you have the option to maybe sit in the back seat of the unit as the customer drives, or consider letting them take it for a solo spin. And if you are taking a test drive with a customer, or you are walking the customer through the unit, make it a requirement that you both wear a mask. So servicing is another huge part of nearly every dealership, and it is important to make sure that your customers feel comfortable during this entire process. So you can ensure that there are seating areas, and that in your seating area, in your waiting room, they're at least 6 feet apart. Include a cleaning station with hand sanitizer and wipes. I think the more the merrier here. Remove any communal snacking or drink stations. That would be like your coffee pots, or if you've got water pitchers. That will help to minimize the spread of germs as well. You could do bottled water as a great option to provide instead. And ensure that all of your service team members are wearing masks, specifically when they are working with a customer or talking to them. And then while your staff is working on units, make sure to place disposable seat covers where appropriate for them as well. Have customers also utilize a drop-off box that could give you some contactless service options. They can just put their key in there. If customers do not feel comfortable coming into your dealership for service, you could go that extra mile, and you could actually offer them a pickup and a drop-off service. You can even leave a sanitizing wipe kit behind as an extra touch, and you can brand that with your dealership. Go that extra mile. Once you have fully cleaned your dealership and you put your plans in place for keeping your business as sanitized and as safe as possible, it is time to communicate that you are now open for business and open for your customers to come into your storefront. So I recommend utilizing to do this emails, videos, your marketplace listings, your website homepage, and social media channels to connect and to update your customers on your current status of your business. You know when, and you do not know when and where they're searching for everything, so it's nice to make sure that you're updating your information in as many places as possible. So with this communication, you're going to also want to make sure that you provide an update that you are currently open, or provide your anticipated open date. Another option is that you could create a soft opening date so that your dealership need not be flooded all at once if you've got a lot of people that you think are going to be coming in. Let your customers know what your store hours are and if they have been updated or if they have been changed. Define any guidelines that your dealership is going to be adhering to during your operating business hours. So for example, if you're going to only allow having 10 people or less in your dealership, make sure they know that. Let them know about your social distancing rules and things that you've put into place. Talk about setting appointments only. There's lots of options here to really let them know how you'll be operating your dealership. And then highlight the steps that you and your team are taking to provide your customers with a clean and a safe environment. So make sure you mention, we've got branded masks available for you. Come in and get a mask from us. Talk about hand sanitizers, the regular cleanings that you're doing. You get the picture. You want to really make sure they understand how clean your dealership is. Include any offers or incentives for potential customers, anything that they would want to know, like discounts that you have going on, maybe free gifts that you're going to be doing with a purchase. Make sure you're also including those. And while it is important to make sure consumers feel comfortable coming into your dealership, some individuals might still be a little bit hesitant. So after communicating your new office hours when you're open, you're going to want to also recommend offering virtual and contact-less options. So some of those could be the offer of digital appointments, FaceTiming or video walkthroughs, digital pre-qualification financing that you could do ahead of time, and then even delivery and curbside pickup. During this time, it is going to be crucial on using your digital channels to fully educate consumers. So when they come into your dealership, they are more likely to sign and drive away. The research process is longer and more detailed for many dealers, for many buyers than it has ever been before. So they're going to be making a lot of decisions before they actually walk into your dealership, which means that their time in the sales funnel for you is going to be shorter, which makes it easier for eager buyers to buy by giving them options that fit their comfort level during these unprecedented times. So before opening, you're going to also want to make sure that all of your staff members are on the same page and they're all comfortable. So I recommend providing them with detailed communication and the information that they're going to need to conduct the business that you want them to conduct in the safest way. Highlight the importance of adhering to not only your state guidelines, but also the guidelines that your dealership is putting into place. And also consider you could be staggering your staff or implementing alternate shifts or smaller shifts so that you do not have too many people in your dealership at one time. You want not only your customers, but your staff to also feel comfortable. So remember, your employees are the lifeblood of your business. Make sure to check in on them and provide them with the necessary equipment that they need to be successful and safe in the workplace during coronavirus. So you could consider providing them with face masks, gloves, personal hand sanitizers they can carry with them, and any other tools or training that you think might be needed. Now is the time to be honest and open with your staff and make sure that they feel supported and comfortable, either coming back into your dealership or continuing as they are with their day-to-day operations. And on the day of reopening, if you haven't already opened yet, you might not see that much foot traffic as you used to see. So it's a good idea that you have a plan in place to keep your staff highly engaged and busy. So during some slower times, maybe you could have your staff members conduct extra cleanings around the dealership. They could also cold call potential customers and even spend this time following up on current leads. You can also manage and update your social media presence to help create community during this time and to reach out to potential customers who might have questions. You can use this time to create helpful and humorous content such as videos, articles, and memes that you could be posting. And then you can reach out to customers when it's time for servicing. So again, be proactive here. So for example, we've seen that it's been, X amount of time since your last oil change. We're open and we are ready to service your unit. You can also give your staff activity goals. Maybe, assign them to call 10 customers a day just to check in or to re-engage. And really that allows you to provide that extra special personal touch to your customers. And then once you have a solid plan in place for reopening, it is time to develop a contingency plan. So the resurgence, it is a word that nobody wants to hear, but it is important to be ready if there is a resurgence of coronavirus. Now is the time to prepare for anything and everything because we do not know what this fall or winter is going to look like when it comes to coronavirus. So we want to make sure that you are planning for any type of resurgence that might occur. First, you need to assess your overall processes. If a resurgence does occur, you've already been in this situation before, so you're knowing what's working and what's not working, so you can be ready. So ask yourself, what has worked and what didn't work during the shutdowns or the partial shutdowns in your state? Find opportunities where you can eliminate those physical touch points again, and then increase those cleaning measures. Be sure to also notify your customers. Communicate via email, social media, and phone calls that your dealership is either closing again or limiting visits or limiting the amount of people into the dealership. Transition back to a by appointment only or transfer existing appointments to phone call or even video. If it's a servicing appointment, you could then also start to offer again pickup and drop-off options. And last but not least, prepare to go virtual. This can seem like an impossible feat sometimes when so much of our business is based on that human interaction, test drives, unit tours, and physically being present. However, in the world of digital marketing, most of your dealership is already online and ready to go. According to Forbes, 70% of companies had a digital transformation in place or were actually working on one. But it seems that most companies were not far enough along when COVID became an issue. So now it's time to make a huge shift towards your digital focus. The need to engage customers virtually is more important than it ever has been in the past. The companies that will come out of this crisis ahead of the game are the ones that are adapting technology to effectively engage their customers. If a resurgence of coronavirus occurs, you are ready to move to a digital buying and selling experience. Ask yourself that. Are you ready? And you've got to make sure you are. During this day and age, it is not enough to have a digital presence. You need to reach your consumers and your customers where they are by expanding your communication channels. Buyers are seeking deeper engagement, not only in traditional channels such as your phone calls, your emails, and your social medias that we're all used to, but through expanded channels like texting, live chat, and even video chat, which is my favorite. There are tools, these are all tools that you should absolutely 100% be taking advantage of as virtual retailing is going to become more and more normal. So let's now take a look at a few ways to expand your digital channel. Email is absolutely a tried and true method that you should be utilizing to reach your customers. Email open rates increased by 21% overall in March of 2020. Even with a huge jump in send volume due to communication around COVID-19. And people are checking their emails as a main way of keeping up to date on the latest information of what's going on in their industries and in their businesses and all the emails that they're subscribing to. They are reading those. They are keeping up to date. Make sure that you are checking all of your incoming emails and you are responding back in a timely manner to anyone that is inquiring about any of your services. And be sure that you are responding with empathy and understanding, since we're all going through the same situation. Make an effort to regularly send emails to your database as well. This is a great opportunity. Share messages from your dealership about updates to your hours, your availability, your COVID-19 safety practices, promos, special offers that you have going, available listings, and any other relevant information and content that you think would be helpful specifically for them. So during times of crisis, people want more than ever to feel connected. And most do this by turning to their social media channels. Facebook saw a 70% increase in usage of all of their apps in March 2020 alone. People are turning to social media to keep them not only entertained, lots of fun stuff to see, but also informed and connected. So being present and active on your social media channels right now is going to be one of the most important things for you to do. Building and maintaining awareness of your dealerships here and your availability and your responsiveness during this time. So respond to followers in a timely fashion through your comments and through private messages too. Leverage social media in a time when they're not able to connect, when you're not able to connect with all of your consumers at like your local events or in person or even around the town. You could even do some live stuff on Facebook. That might be fun to also, work with them and see them. Share content in regards to the crisis and also use this time to provide expertise to them. Don't forget to also make sure to update your hours of operation on your social media pages as well. Text messaging is also an excellent way to engage with buyers who are searching for your inventory online. It gives them the opportunity to do this quickly and seamlessly. Mobile devices have started to play a bigger and bigger role in a consumer's path to purchase because it allows them to connect from anywhere. Last night, I actually ordered pizza for our entire family through a text message. It was super easy. Texting is the way of life these days, so make sure that you're utilizing it. By including text messaging as an open channel for your buyers, it's going to allow you immediate, personal, and more frequent conversations, keeping the buyer engaged right from the start. And we are in a world of instant gratification. So when a consumer wants something, they want it now. And that same principle goes for their communication expectations with you. So now more than ever, dealerships are offering live chat as a contact option to communicate with potential buyers. Live chat is going to give you that opportunity to connect with your customers via instant messaging, and it is the quickest method to actually service and help your customers. You can also convert more leads into sales through live chat. You can provide real-time support to your customers and assist customers that might have any immediate needs or questions that might come up. Video chat also allows you to virtually connect with potential buyers in real time and build your relationship with your consumers. It's another great way to show off the unit that a buyer might be interested in. With this feature, you can offer to take a buyer on a virtual walkthrough of a unit, explaining the details and all of the features as you go along. Plus, it is a convenient option for serious buyers to learn more and have a conversation with you, which ultimately will move them closer to transaction and lead to higher conversion rates for you. And all of that is just scratching the surface of the digital channels that you should be utilizing during and after coronavirus to stay ahead of the digital game. If you're looking for more information on tools that we've mentioned here today about reopening your dealership during and after COVID, we've created some virtual retailing resource centers for each of the brands that we serve. So these research centers have a ton of great information, everything from guides, trend reports, videos, and articles. All of this aiming to help you and your dealership cope with these turbulent times. So take the time, please visit for each one of our brands. You can visit truckmediakit.com. We've got rvtradersmediakit.com, equipmentmediakit.com, and cycletradermediakit.com. You can go there to learn more about how to handle this during this time. So we understand that many businesses are facing hardships due to the impact of coronavirus. But we hope that these tips and these ideas have encouraged you to develop a plan for a very smooth and a successful opening. So I'm going to do a quick recap of what we've covered today. So you're going to focus on cleanliness and the safety as your top priority. Adapt test drives and servicing to new social distancing norms. Communicate with your customers and educate your staff. Offer as many virtual options as possible to limit physical touch points. Create those contingency plans and expand your communication channels to include email, social, text, live chat, and more. And now I'm going to pass it back over to Jen, and we're going to start a Q&A portion of our webinar.
All right. Thank you so much for all those helpful tips, Paige. As Paige said, we're going to go ahead and jump into the Q&A section. If you haven't had a chance to enter your questions into the questions section of the control panel, go ahead and do so now. All right, so let's see. So the first question I'm seeing, Paige, what do you think is the most important thing dealers should be doing right now?
It's going to be all about communication. So communicate with your customers as much as possible through all of the channels that we talked about on this webinar. Regulations are being updated constantly, so the more that they know about how your dealership is handling them, the better. So just communication, communication, communication. Anything else, Jen?
Perfect. Okay, we have, besides ongoing cleaning, what else have you seen dealers do to ensure their locations follow safety guidelines?
So we have seen dealers put in place plexiglass barriers between the seating areas or between where they're taking any type of money from somebody. We've also seen that people have added, and I think this is a really cool one, they've added outdoor workspace options. So maybe some of your employees could actually be working from outside on nice warm days. And again, just ensuring that you are providing as many options as possible for just no physical touch points. So whatever you can do to make that work so that they can stay away and not have to touch somebody. Again, I think I mentioned earlier, you could put out a box for somebody to drop a key in so that you could have a touchless interaction when somebody's dropping off a unit or picking up a unit as well. Anything else?
I'm seeing a couple about asking if we're going to be, that they can receive copies of the slides and a video recording. So we will send that out tomorrow. There will be a follow-up. And so it will be a copy of the slide deck that you saw Paige present today, as well as a video recording of this entire webinar. Another one just came in. Any public relation advice regarding if an active case is traced to dealership?
You know, I think for that, I would say you would want to let people know. I don't know exactly the best format for that. I would say it's probably you want to make sure first you start with your employees. You're going to be sending out letters. I would put a plan in place for that. I know for our organization, we did that. We spent some time coming up with a plan of if an employee came in contact, how would they let us know? How would we then let anyone that was in contact? So I think the best thing is to really just sit down and kind of come up with a plan that works for you and works for your dealership and your staff. But great question.
Perfect. Okay, any other questions? We'll give it a couple more seconds. Okay. Oh, yes, yep, sorry, joined late. The recording will be shared. Yes, you'll receive an email tomorrow with a copy of the slide deck and a recording of the presentation. Okay, that looks like all the questions we've received for today. With that, I want to thank Paige again for all these wonderful insights, and thank you to everyone listening for being a part of today's webinar. We encourage you to reach out to us at marketing@traderinteractive.com. If you do have any additional questions that we weren't able to go over today about reopening your dealership or transforming your digital business, go ahead and again, email marketing@traderinteractive.com. We're here to help, and we look forward to hopefully chatting with you in the future. Thank you guys so much for today.
Thank you. Have a great day.